How old were you when you had your first bit of heroin?
Heroin? Oh, I don't know, about 15, 16.
Oh, that young?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lou Reed was on it, he looked cool. Keith Richards was on it, he looked cool. Jimi Hendrix was on it, and he was dead.
Look at me though.
I think I've overdone the vaping.
I am in Kentish Town, Pixel Studios, Studio A, love it, great studios. Waiting for Mike Gunn. He's a good mate of mine actually, Mike Gunn. I play poker with him on a weekly basis. He's a good player, not as good as me. But he's coming today and we're going to talk about funny stuff and maybe some serious stuff because he's got a past. Wait for Mike Gunn. Mike Gunn usually is on time. Mike Gunn, I was going to say you're usually on time.
Oh,
give us a hug.
Best. Hello, Steve Best.
Mike Gunn. I love
Gunn.
Mike Gunn. Brilliant. That's that done. Thanks for coming, Mike. So Mike Gunn.
Hello. Warm in here, isn't it?
Are you quite warm?
Maybe it's
move
just
back a bit, little bit.
Been walking.
Oh yeah.
Trying to find a sandwich. I found one. I found a bit of quiche. Just ridiculous.
What are you? Middle class. Bit of quiche.
I got it from Gales.
I like Gale's bread.
I do, yeah. But I make my own.
Mike Gunn makes his own bread.
That is not rock and roll. I don't want that on the thing.
It is going on there. No, that is going to be the introduction.
That would ruin my comedy image of the hard man of comedy.
We play poker, me and Mike, and you make your own sandwiches. Or you not only make your own sandwiches, you make your bread.
I make the bread,
yeah,
and then I kill a chicken. Too old for everything. I'm tired. I don't really want to do this.
I can tell, Mike.
I tell you why. One, I'm tired. Two, I don't like having my photo taken.
Why don't you like having your photo taken,
Because
Mike?
it looks like me.
Yeah.
All the photos look like me, and I don't particularly want to look at pictures of me.
You're quite a handsome guy.
I'm not. I'm really not. And two, I'm not selling anything.
Right.
So what's the point? I'm not on tour. I haven't got any merchandise. I'm going to make T-shirts that say I'm not selling anything.
You do a teaching thing.
Teaching.
You are selling that?
I do that. I teach a comedy course.
Yeah.
2 hours, Sunday mornings. There's big demand for it, surprisingly. They sell out really quickly.
New comics?
Yeah, and they're all doing live at the Apollo.
That's what's happened with the quality of it, yeah.
It's top quality.
Do you enjoy
them? I kind of hate it and enjoy it at the same time.
Because?
I dread it every time. I just think, because it's tiring, hard work. It's really hard, because some of them just need therapy. Some of them need, support, emotional support, as well as it's therapy. Teaching stand-up comedy is a bit like doing therapy, but without the compassion.
But this is what we're talking about. I can't remember what clown school is. The fact that you kind of break down, but that's much more ruthless than stand-up teaching.
You haven't seen my course.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ruthless.
Do you make people cry?
I think people have cried.
So I had this idea for a joke. I got this smoke machine, right? There's a kind of portable one. I've got this real problem. I've started smoking again.
Yeah.
And
you should definitely give up.
Yeah. And I just stand there on stage. I haven't tried it yet. I started smoking again. I don't know how to give up smoking. Just press that, yeah. It's meant to be non-toxic. Hang on. Stop for a second. Look at me though.
I think I've overdone the vaping.
Just let it go a bit.
That is going to go off.
That's quite good actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so, because it's kind of out of focus. That's quite good.
Where are you?
Okay, through your nose. Eyes open. I don't know what you're going to use these for.
No, nor do I.
We're talking about vaping very quickly while we're doing the vape session. You've got quite an addictive personality, Mike Gunn.
Oh, I have not.
How are we going to approach this? So, I remember.
Yeah. I don't remember that.
No.
I went to a reunion last night with people from my past, and they were all going, "Oh, I remember you doing this," and I was going, "No."
So,
I don't remember any of it.
So, would you say you lost a certain amount of years of your life?
Yes, quite a few years. Yeah. I've been introduced to ex-girlfriends and not known who they were.
Really?
Yeah,
but
really.
Girlfriends you've been out with for a while.
Yeah. Did we? Are you sure? How was it? Was it good for you? Because I can't remember it. I'm hopelessly addicted to vaping. It's ridiculous.
And
I'm going to stop. I've been
Are
told
you?
I've got to stop, yeah. Because it's just madness.
And anyone
I'm
want
not
to
good
vape?
at moderation. I'm not good at it.
And that goes back to your days as a proper
druggie.
Yeah.
I don't know now.
It's all over now, but I remember you doing a show in Edinburgh, and I remember giving you the title, but you wouldn't have it.
Which was?
Which was Mike Gunn Takes It Up the Arm. Which I thought was a brilliant title for a drug show.
It is a good title.
But those days are over.
People that have drug problems stop. They go, oh, I'm fine now, but then they become alcoholics.
Or addicted to something else,
or
like
addicted to something else,
sport
like exercise, or work. I wish I could be addicted to work, but I'm not.
No, you can't even get your hair.
No, exactly. And also, you've got no sway with your kids. I've got kids, they know. You can't say anything. You can't say, put the top on the toothpaste, because they say, shut up, you used to be a junkie. Do you know what I mean? What do you know about living? If anyone's vaguely interested in this, you can look on my website.
Yeah.
Look on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a whole load of little videos that I made in the lockdown.
Oh yeah.
All about addiction and stuff like that.
I'm going to get your eyes in focus. Hang on. Keep it straight. Keep it.
Eyes. I don't want my eyes in focus.
That's to your soul, mate. That's the thing. That's the main thing.
Is it?
Is your eyes?
You
Yeah, in
who wants
photography.
to see my soul?
Lots of people, mate. Straight down the barrel. If you like these videos, and I love them, but there's not a love button, there's only a like button. So press the like button and the subscribe, because that means you get notifications when the next one's coming. And there's going to be loads now, because we've got some great comedians coming up and other people too. So like and subscribe. Subscribe's the big one.
Well, I'm getting more and more used to the idea that I'm dyslexic, because my writing's terrible. Some days I can spell and some days I can't.
Oh really?
People have been telling me this for years and I've been going, oh no, shut up, I'm just thick. And I had a terrible time at school, but now I'm living with somebody who's got a grown-up daughter who was dyslexic and went through all the process of all the help that she needed. And she just keeps going, you're dyslexic. So I don't want to, I'm not playing the, you know.
No, because it's not going to gain, you're not going to get on live at the Apollo because you're dyslexic.
You never know. Live at the Apple.
Good one.
I've got ways around it. For instance, I don't write anything. I've got the most horrendous sense of direction, like ridiculously bad. I used to do delivery driving. I learnt how to get to places, but I learnt them all from Piccadilly Circus. So if I had to go somewhere, I'd go to Piccadilly Circus and then go there.
Oh, that's great.
Well, it was handy because when I was a drug addict, I was often in Piccadilly Circus scoring, so I knew the area.
How old were you when you had your first bit of heroin?
Heroin? Oh, I don't know, about 15, 16.
Oh, that young?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lou Reed was on it, he looked cool. Keith Richards was on it, he looked cool. Jimi Hendrix was on it and he was dead. Do you know what I mean? I was so nervous when I started doing stand-up.
Really?
And yeah, absolutely, for years and years, like proper nervous. Couldn't eat the same day, all that sort of stuff.
So you never did the Aztec Comedy Club where part of the deal was you get a free chimichanga?
Yeah, I did do it, but I didn't have the food. You get heckled by a sizzling plate going past you, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
And one day, and I think it might have been Sean Locke, I was at the Comedy Store, being really nervous, and he kind of went, what are you nervous about? It's not the gig, is it? I've seen you do the gig loads of times. So what? I didn't have an answer, and it really helped. It really helped.
Realising that there's nothing to be nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, you know, I still get nervous at corporate events or when I'm having the photo taken, or something that's going on TV, because it's there forever. Do you know what I mean? It's there. So for a comedy gig, okay.
What's the point? Yeah.
I do that with my students, sort of getting them on stage and make them do something that's really not funny.
Which is
no, make them do something not funny, and then they go, "That's it. That's what you're scared of. Right. That is what you're scared of. Going on stage, saying something that's not funny, and not getting a laugh, and that's it. You've done it now. Nothing changes. And equally, nothing changes when you go on stage and get a standing ovation, and you still go home and nothing changes. And if you get booed off, you go home and nothing changes.
I'll put your foot out. Let's get one.
Oh, put your foot out. Oh,
yeah, isn't that the classic thing of going into the toilets in the interval?
Oh yeah.
And people talking, and you're in the cubicle.
Yeah.
And people are talking about that.
And if they're talking about you and they're saying you're shit, you can't come out. You have to stay in the cubicle.
A really long poo. Best gig.
Well, I did the Palladium once. It was a charity event for, I don't know, to raise money for miners. So I don't know, can't remember. And
worthwhile event then.
The Palladium is an amazing room.
Yeah.
Like rows and rows of people. It's really great, and that was quite early on. But I did some fantastic gigs with Lee Mack, like the
Oh, you toured with Lee Mack,
Manchester, Manchester Apollo,
Yeah.
which I was a bit worried about. But the other gigs I was used to doing in Manchester were a bit rough and hard work.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh God, Manchester Apollo opening for somebody else, then it's going to be, but that was great, it was really good. And the other one, which I was also a bit worried about, was Glasgow Apollo. And it was sort of how I expected it. I walked out and then somebody went, who the fuck are you, pal?
Nice.
That was the first.
And that was your dad?
My greeting, yeah.
So just very quickly, you toured with Lee Mack, a massive tour.
Tour support is a great job.
It can be, but...
There's no real pressure.
No,
there's only
true.
pressure in those first few minutes
Yeah.
when you walk out and they're going, who's this? We don't want to see him.
At the Hammersmith Apollo, I took one of my favourite ever pictures
Of me.
of comedians with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the one through the curtains.
Yeah, that
from
was
the
on
side
that
of the
tour.
stage.
That was on that tour.
Yeah, that's on that tour, and that one got to the last lot of the summer exhibition, the Royal Academy
I
summer
know,
exhibition.
I was really disappointed. I
didn't
thought I was
quite
going
get
to
in.
be in the Royal Academy.
I know, but that actually is one everybody looks at and says that's great.
It's a nice picture.
Well, I called it the loner.
I've got it
Oh, you
at
have,
home
yeah.
in my living room. It's a great picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your worst gig then?
I've got millions. They're mostly corporates.
Right.
Mostly corporate events. I mean, I did 3 gigs this. Oh, I'm not even saying this. No. No.
Let's just very quickly.
No,
What
I'm
corporate?
brilliant at corporates.
Huh?
Still on them all. But I did do a gig the other night for a well-known company. I won't mention their name, and it was appallingly badly set up. That it was in a nightclub.
Yeah.
It was more brightly lit than a photographic studio. It was like fluorescent lighting, which is very bad for comedy.
Yeah.
There were only 14 people in. The aircon was at the highest level it could have been. It was like freezing, like literally freezing. People with coats and scarves and hats on. And then before I came on, they had pumping techno music. They couldn't have set it up worse if they'd have tried. They just stared at me. The only kind of laughs I got was when this person turned up at the back of the room and sort of hovered about, and I went, oh, brilliant, come on, come in, we need more people. It's a brilliant night, can't you tell? Do you know what I mean? And I was just taking the piss, and she was going, I'm just a cleaner.
First gig, Mike Gunn.
First gig, well, Jackson's Lane Community Centre, Archway.
Bloody hell. Did you do a course then?
I did a course, so which is kind of...
Full circle?
Kind of why, yeah, it's full circle. Whose course was it? I don't know, we had a different teacher every week. We had Nick Wilty, Charmaine Hughes,
Bloody hell.
Andy Parsons.
Andy Parsons?
A different teacher each week. We voted Nick Wilty best teacher because he turned up with 4 cans of special brew.
For real?
For real. Sat down on the stage, opened the first can and went, right, what do you want to know? Right.
For real?
The information he gave us was who to call, on what day, their phone number. You can get an open spot here, phone this number on this day. Basically, real basic stuff that we needed to know. It was really, really helpful, really helped.
But didn't talk about how to do comedy though?
No, not really, no.
Oh. But that was his part of his job though?
I don't know if it was or not, but we voted him best because it was just the most useful, you know. But anyway, I did the gig and it was appalling, my gig, absolutely appalling. I was so nervous and so rubbish, and I was heckled by a child. There was a mother walking through with a child to go to this other show, some kids show, who looked at me and went, "You're rubbish, mate." And I had no comeback.
But did you get the bug then? Did you kind of think, I want to do this?
Yeah. Even though it was a complete and utter disaster.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. It's the journey, not the end result, as I'm testament to. This is the end result. I think sitting in a stupid plastic chair having your photo taken.
It's leather, mate.
Look,
leather.
it's not leather.
Isn't it?
Look, it's held together with masking tape.
Well, if you weren't doing comedy,
Oh my God,
what
would I
would you be doing?
Well, comedy kind of saved me from, you know that phrase, men live lives of quiet desperation.
Yeah.
It saved me from that because when I stopped being a heroin addict, I thought I needed to try and fit into the world,
Yeah.
you know, and be a normal person. And so I did lots of jobs like, you know, working in a shop and working in an office. And it's really hard to do that after you've spent many, many years roaming the streets doing Class A drugs.
Is it?
Yeah, it's impossible. It's really hard. I was like, you know, I'm not saying I've got PTSD, but you know, it's like when the Vietnam vets come back from being in the jungle killing people all day and are expected to, you know, work in a bank. So it's just not, you can't do it. But one day I was fishing around, and so one day it dawned on me that you don't have to fit in. You go along to the bank and say I've come for the job, and they look at your CV, and it's like 10 years of nothing and registered drug addiction and all that sort of stuff. They're not going welcome to the bank, are they? Do you know what I mean? They're just kicking you out the door. So luckily I found stand-up comedy, which in some ways is a bit similar to using drugs, because you hang out late at night with a lot of weird people, and and you don't have to sort of get up or do normal stuff. There's lots of emotional ups and downs, lots of adrenaline rushes and drops. You know, you go on, you storm it, nothing happens. Do you know what I mean?
So ultimately, you can't answer the question. You can't really. Is there something you'd want to do?
Well, you know, other than the obvious stuff like rock star,
which is in showbiz still, isn't it?
It's the same job, really, isn't it? No, I can't do anything. That's why I'm still doing this.
That's a great place to leave the interview. Mike Gunn, we love Mike Gunn.
Don't worry, it's not long now. It'll all be over, Steve. Life, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came down.
I was at home. I just thought, oh God, I've talked to Steve. I can't be bothered with it. For a while.
Mike Gunn.